You are listening to Comedy Club for Kids presents Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense. Hello and welcome to Radio Nonsense, the official Comedy Club for Kids podcast that's suitable for all ages, from to and everything in between. I'm Tiernan and yeah, woohoo, the show is back. I'm so sorry, listeners, that it was away for a while, but as you can hear, things have changed. It is a very, very long story, but actually, Linda, do you want to tell the listeners what's happened, Linda? No, I didn't think so. Well, look, listen, if you're a new listener, nothing's happened. You don't know any different. But if you're an old listener, how old? If you're 100, obviously not allowed to listen to the show, but if you're 99, you're welcome. Let me just update you. Sadly, Comedy Club for Kids HQ, where I usually do the show, it's been deemed a health and safety hazard and also an area of environmental protection because of just how many stinky hippos there are. The area's been cordoned off for anyone except top scientists in highly specialised hazmat suits who are able to handle the smell. There'd been a lot of complaints from neighbours who, when they walked past, they'd been doing huge, ginormous Rainbow Six and then fainting because of the stinky hippo smell. Now, I think, I was trying to describe it, it smells a lot like if a lion had died while farting, and then its body had rotted on top of a pile of rhino poop, and then a vulture had chopped some rotten onions on top of that, and then a warthog had left all their old socks there as well. Sort of a bit like that, so you can imagine it pretty awful. The scientists were actually amazed I was still working away in there doing all Radio Nonsense stuff, and I hadn't fallen over even once because of that stench, but guess you just get used to it, don't you? Anyway, I'm now here at the beach, full of the lovely, fresh sea air. But it is really, really cold. And also, this keeps happening. Oi, give me back my potted plant, you horrible crab. Yeah, crabs keep taking all my stuff. When I got here, I had all the things from Comedy Club for Kids HQ that I brought with me, but then the crabs took everything, and now I only have a chair, a desk, and my microphone. Oh, and of course the mailbag, which is far too heavy for a crab to take, because it is so full of your letters. Let me see what we've got here. Sleepy Pretzel says, "Jellyfish are so cool. Thank you so much for reading out my comment. And actually, I am from the Comedy Club for Jelly Blobs, but it was very boring, so I moved to Antarctica and heard about this podcast, and it is amazing. Once again, thank you for reading out my comment. Now I can tell the Fishy Wishies all about this amazing podcast." Wow, thanks, Sleepy Pretzel. That's brilliant. I didn't know we had Jelly Blobs listening. Tell me, if you're a Jelly Blobs, but you've gone to Antarctica, have you now frozen into an Ice Blobs or an Ice Blocks? I'm just curious, because it's pretty cold there, so I wonder if you're now just sliding around rather than squelching. I'm not really sure how it works. Anyway, you're very welcome, and please do tell the Fishy Wishies about the podcast, but don't tell the squids, as otherwise the Comedy Club for Squids will be on to me again, and now I have to live at the beach. That could be a problem. Okay, next we have this from Moss, who says, "Delivery to Radio Nonsense HQ." Listeners, I know what you're thinking. That's going to get sent to the place that's cordoned off by scientists, and then the smell from the stinky hippos will melt it, and I won't actually get my delivery. But don't worry, the postal service have rerouted all my mail, mainly because every time the postman turned up to Comedy Club for Kids HQ, he'd faint while doing a huge, giant Rainbow Six, so they had to. Anyway, this message from Moss says, "Here are your stinky, stanky squids you ordered, and last time I checked, your house had an infestation of ants, so I'm out of here." What? It's got an infestation of ants as well as stinky hippos? Oh no, well I hope those scientists are okay, and more importantly, that the ants aren't carrying off the stinky hippos and then taking them underground into anthills, or that could cause all sorts of problems. I can't even imagine what would happen if that smell was underground. And also, no thank you for the stinky, stanky squids. I mean, firstly, I was enjoying the smell of the fresh sea air, but now it smells like someone's kept old fish in their armpits for 12 years. And secondly, I'm pretty sure that is going to annoy the Comedy Club for Squids a lot, but Let me check this now much lighter mailbag again. Hey, give me back the mailbag, you clawed horrids! Wait, these crabs have written something in the sand with their tiny, tiny many legs. It says, "The beach is our turf, stupid human. You better move radio nonsense somewhere else, or the squids will take all you have. Lots of love and tentacles, Comedy Club for Squids, and also sometimes crabs." Oh, crikey. Well, before I chase down the mailbag and find somewhere else to move, I guess, don't forget that if you want to send in anything else at all, whether that's jokes, messages, or a question that needs to be answered, then please do get your nearest grotty fuddywumps, sorry, I mean grown-ups, to help you email me at podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk. Or you can leave a review on one of the many podcast sites or reply on the Spotify Q&A. Do also check out comedyclubforkids.co.uk for all of our live comedy shows around the country. And if you don't listen already, my other podcast, Bust or Trust, has 0 stinky hippos in it, so it is safe. But it does occasionally have squids, and they're usually giant ones as well. Sorry about that. Do give it a try. Okay, I've got my bucket and spade, and I will get the mailbag back from those crabs. You'll see, you will see. But while I do that, you listen to this most important bit.
It has a tower of crustaceans to climb.
Hooray! I am joined by many-time radio nonsenser and, of course, the global leader in the campaign to reduce hats. It's Katie Pritchard! What is going down in Katie Pritchard Town? Is it a clown? Is it a gown? How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I have demolished hats in this house, and I've turned all of the hats that were inside my house into a dress.
Wow,
yeah.
That's amazing. I have to say, I've never seen anyone demolish a hat before. Is it quite hard work? Because often they just sort of collapse a bit and then you pop them back up.
Well, they're quite tough material, and I found a lot of them in this house were waterproof. So
wow.
What you have to be careful of is wearing the dress inside out, because if you put it on the wrong way and you go out in the rain, they collect the water and it makes a very heavy dress.
Right, that's really not what you want, but it does make it sort of wee-proof, I suppose.
It does,
if you wear it inside out.
And also if you're wearing it right side in and you do need a wee, you can just do one in one of the hats. No one will know unless you spill it.
That's true. So then you've got to walk very carefully. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the ideal situation, but it sounds like a handy bonus.
Yes.
Considering, yeah.
I think it's the better use for a hat, personally.
Well, I mean, and you would, because, this is obviously, you have got your campaign to reduce hats. I sort of wonder why, maybe I'm stepping out of line on this already, but, I know you, Katie. I hope you don't mind me asking this question. I was going to wonder why you had so many hats in your home to begin with when you are so adamantly anti-hat.
It's a fantastic question to ask, because I think, some people would be confused. So I'd like to clear it up for the record. So thank you for giving me a platform to do that on.
Very welcome.
I thought if I removed all hats from shops nearby, then that removes all the temptation for people to buy them.
I see. So they weren't your hats to begin with. You have gone around and collected hats from everywhere possible.
Yes.
And then demolished them.
Yes. But the problem I'm coming up against now is those shops that I bought from now think people that live in my town love hats. So they've restocked they've restocked like double the amount. So it is an expensive terrain to be on.
Yes.
But
and
ultimately, I think
are you going to go and buy all those extra hats? Is this your next? Are you going to buy the extra hats? Then of course they'll have to get triple the quantity, and then you'll buy those. Then they'll have to get quadruple the quantity. Are you just causing a huge inflation of hat demand?
I think so. But look, I'm currently crowdfunding for my next hat purchase. So if anyone feels like they'd like to chip in, so I can take the hats off of the shelves and make them into more dresses, maybe a bag to match the dress. It's a worthy cause. I think we'll all agree. Hats are out, hoods are in. Sorry.
Wow. You've said it. That's such a good slogan. It's a very good slogan. Would you take a hat off someone's head if you saw them wearing it? Are you being that aggressive with your campaign?
I have done that many a time. I wouldn't say that my method of removing the hat is aggressive, because I
Right.
like to do it like a Fosse dance move. For anyone that doesn't
Nice.
know what that is, it's kind of jazzy, a little bit of jazz hands. Maybe I'll do a little kickball change, and the person thinks they're in a dance, and they're quite happy to give me their hat.
Um, does that work if somebody's wearing a hat as part of their uniform? Like, could you do it from a fire brigade officer or a one of those large Buckingham Palace guards with the giant bear fur hat? Would you remove their hat in a Jazzy Foss way? Would that be safe?
Obviously, it depends on the height of the hat where safety is concerned.
Mm.
I'm 5 feet tall, so if the hat is taller than me, sometimes that does make it a bit unsafe for me to be doing a Fosse dance removal. In
Mm,
those
mm.
instances, what I like to do is pretend I'm a scientist doing a science
Yeah.
experiment of how many hats tall am I.
Wow. Wow.
And
That's interesting.
most
Yeah.
people are very happy to measure me with their hat. So,
That's nice. That's really clever. They measure you with the hat,
mhm,
and then you sweep the hat away,
yeah.
and you're gone into the
So
night.
I'm like, for example, I'm 1.5 beefeater hats tall.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which
Okay.
I think is a
Yeah.
lot more. I thought I'd just be 1.1, but
Yeah.
1.5, I'm
Yeah.
quite happy with that.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. I have to say, I just in my head a beefeater hat is about the size of a person. I didn't realize it's smaller than I thought.
Yeah. Well, it's quite, it deceives you because normally they're worn on top of a tall person or on top of a tall person riding a horse.
Yes.
So you don't really
So
get,
it seems.
yeah.
Yeah. That's a quite a mean trick actually. Now you say it like that. I hadn't realized they'd been deceiving us all this time, and
Yeah.
it makes me very angry.
See? And this is
Very
why
angry.
hats are out, hoods are in.
Yeah, is that the main reason? Because it is. I know you know on your campaign site you've listed a lot of reasons why hats are bad, but one of them seems to be that you don't like the way it makes people's heads seem to go higher or bigger than they
Yeah.
are, and that they are that basically making heads
It's
liars.
very deceiving. They're pranking us with their
Mm.
hat. Especially, if you're out and about and you're thinking, I might be the same height as this person, but this hat has added an extra foot.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not fair, I think.
No, no. It's not. No, it's not fair at all. I mean, do you think the same? Should you also be anti boots or anti shoes that make people taller, or is that sort of a more obvious
I
height
I
addition?
think people in high shoes, they're not hiding the high shoe. In fact,
Sure.
I saw there was a place that gave everyone shoes that would make them the same height as each other. Yeah,
Wow.
but I mean, if I went there, they'd have to give me a stilt. But for everyone else, they could just get a high shoe, and then they'd work out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everyone would be 6'2", I guess, just walking around in there.
Do you know they should be and I wonder if a lot of our listeners think about this as well because like I'm not very tall either. I'm 5'5", like just about,
Show off.
and yeah, yeah. Well, I appreciate that's a bit more of a beefeater hat than
Yeah,
yourself, Katie. But I would like it if, say, at live events, like whenever I go to a live event, there's nearly always a tall person somewhere in front of me that stops me seeing
yeah,
everything. And if they could at live events just hand out the right size shoe for everyone, so that we're all the same height, so we could all see, that would make it much better.
yeah. I think we would solve a lot of problems if
Mm.
at live events we just made everyone the same height, and if also they weren't wearing hats. You know, those
Yes,
two things
yes,
combined,
yes.
that could transform lives.
Wow, it's a beautiful dream and it's a wonderful image. And do you know? I mean, it's again so often. We have guests that have got a really serious campaign, and I can't always say I'm on board with it at first. But talking to you, Katie, I'm going to go out and the first hat I see, I'm gonna stamp on it or knock it off or give it to a squirrel. It's like something's going to happen. I mean, unless the squirrel's wearing the hat already, and then I will take it off the
Yeah.
squirrel and give it to someone
Yeah.
else. Yeah.
Squirrels have no business wearing hats. Sorry.
No, no,
I'm
absolutely.
sorry.
100% agree. Hard agree. Yeah, that's what are they doing?
Why would they be in a hat? Like, that is
Yeah,
preposterous.
it's maddening, especially when you think, because they like the acorns they eat have already got little hats. Like acorns have little
Yeah.
hats, and then they eat those. So why would they wear their own hats when they like eating hats? It's a
Because
silly,
they
it's a whole
they
silly
love
business.
shenanigans, squirrels.
They do love shenanigans. That is what people say about squirrels. They love the shenanigans.
Mm.
That's why you always see them, skittering about up trees, having, playing sort of games in leisure arcades. They love those kind of
They
shenanigans.
love
They
them.
like party games. Yeah, they're big fan of all sorts of
Yeah.
silly business.
They like
Yeah.
also doing that prank that they love to do, where they're like above you in the house, like in the roof,
Oh
and
yeah.
you're like, whoa, what could it be? There's not a window into the roof. It could be anything. And you're thinking,
Mm.
what is it likely to be? An elephant, could be,
Yep. Yep.
could be a flamingo up there. You just don't know.
Yeah. It could be a lot of ghosts. I always think it's definitely a lot of ghosts.
Just a whole bunch.
Just rattling about. Yeah, a whole bunch of them tap
And
dancing.
then you go up there, it's just a squirrel.
Yeah, yeah, madness. They also do. I don't know if you've been victim to this. Sometimes squirrels they ring on your doorbell, and then when you open the door, there's no one there. They're often around the corner laughing about it. Sometimes they call you up and they pretend to be like from a heating company, and they want all your card details.
Absolute
And
nightmare.
it's really dodgy.
Yeah.
It's really dodgy.
Sometimes
yeah.
they're like friend requesting you on Facebook as
Yeah.
if they're a human person, and you're like, oh, I think I know this person. Follow. Turns out it's just a squirrel with photos of their
Yeah.
acorns.
Awful.
Rude.
They're awful. Really rude. And and then the last thing we need is them in hats. I agree. It's these are tough times, Katie.
Yeah.
You got to keep your eyes and ears out for this sort of business.
You do. Stay safe out there,
Yeah.
folks.
That's good. That's very. Are you quite what's the word? Vigilant? Are you quite are you quite good at you never find yourself caught unawares by a ninja, or you're aware of dangerous squirrels, you know what you're doing, you feel like you're street smart?
Yeah, I like to keep my wits about me, and I do find it helps. I often go out in a neon yellow lycra catsuit with like an eye band. And you might think, whoa, that's going to be pretty distracting for people. But actually, because it's almost too distracting, it blends in.
That's really smart.
Yeah, so they don't.
That's really smart.
They don't spot me because I'm bright yellow.
Yeah, and I guess if they were to look at you, their eyes would always be like, they couldn't quite take it in, and
they're like, maybe she might be like a camera trying to take photos of naughty cars, or they're like, she might be a popcorn machine. We don't know. We're just assuming nothing to worry about.
Also very good at night for safety crossing roads as well. If you're covered in fluorescent materials,
everyone can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. Also, if you need to highlight, if there's a bit of important text on a sign or on a wall, you can just stand next to it, and then people are like, wow, that's the bit. Yeah, that's the bit we need to,
like a torch.
Read. Yes, like a human torch. I'm very impressed.
It's really
with that.
useful for camping. However, if you do want to sleep at night, that's where the trickiness comes, because
right.
You have to like tuck the whole thing in to the sleeping bag.
Right.
And like pull the little toggle so that the hood bit of the sleeping bag is completely around your face, so that none of the suit can come out.
Wow.
Otherwise it's like camping with the sun. So
yeah, that would be awful. And also, like, I quite like sort of getting right inside the sleeping bag, but then I'd blind myself.
Yeah,
because
it'd be
of
too
the fluorescent
bright.
nature of the.
You'd have to keep your eyes out of the sleeping bag, but then you'll get a cold face. You see, there are a few things I need to iron out.
Yeah.
But it's getting there.
It's getting there. That's really good. I do have to ask, because you said you like to keep your wits about you. It's very sensible. When I don't know where else you keep wits. Like the rest, like some people don't keep their wits about, but where are they putting them?
Well, my dad has quite an extensive like garage, and he has quite a big
Right.
shelving unit in there. And I assume that that's where he's keeping his wits.
Right, right. So he keeps them
I
in a
think
shelf
he's
in the
got like a
garage. Right.
special box for
Yeah.
them in the garage in one of his big shelves. Um,
Right.
I'm not too sure. I've not clocked yet where my mum's keeping hers.
Right.
I think it might be in, she's got a very big box full of art supplies, like paints,
Okay.
paintbrushes, pencils, and there's a few empty notches. So I'm wondering if that's where they're going.
That's where the wits are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because I guess if you're keeping your wits about you, then you're quite safe. But if you're leaving them somewhere else,
Yeah.
someone could take your wits, and
And
then
you're
before you know it,
witless.
these people are super witty. You're witless.
Yeah.
They're super witty,
A
and
nightmare.
yeah, real nightmare.
Yeah. I always like
Yeah,
to wear lots of clothes with big pockets so I can keep them about me.
that's really smart.
Mm.
Really smart. Yeah, so you definitely got your wits. That's very clever. Yeah, I mean, this is top advice. I hope all the listeners are paying attention and wearing things with pockets that perhaps aren't reversible
Yeah.
waterproof hat gear yet, or maybe they are, but the right way round. I'm a bit anyway.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, yeah,
Also, if you were like, this is a warning, I guess, not a threat, more of a
right,
warning. But if you are keeping
right,
your wets under your hat, perhaps make sure you're not passing someone who is going to remove that hat for you. Maybe thinking about
yeah.
where else can I keep it? Because hats are out, hoods are in. So
Yeah, yeah. You keep saying that's actually something. Hoods are in, are they? And that's
yeah,
so we all need to be in hoods.
well, because they're attached, you're not going to lose them.
Sure, sure. Is it any type of hood? Do we all need to look like sort of monks, or is it more
Oh,
like
you could go, yeah,
casual hoods?
by all means, go medieval on it.
Go
If you like a
medieval. Yeah,
big
that's what
hood.
I like.
If it's
Yeah, yeah.
windy, that could also act as a mode of transport. You could
Right. Yeah, yeah,
fly yourself to your location because you've got a
yeah,
really big
yeah.
billowing hood.
I
Any hood,
like it.
I think any hood is a good hood, but as long as it does fit your head. I've tried a hood
Sure.
once and it was too small, and I thought, what is the
Right.
point in this hood?
Yeah, yeah. And then it just covers your ear or
Yeah, it's
something. It's
just a
not really.
flappy
Yeah, it's
piece
not
of
really known, is
fabric.
it?
It's not doing anything.
Yeah, yeah. That's fair. That's fair. And I mean, and you can't steal a hood because that would be Robin Hood,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that's a famous
That's that's a
legend. So
famous real life person. So you can't be that.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Or fox. It depends on which
Yes.
version you believe. I think it's a person, but some people think it's a fox.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
could
it's
be
really
one or the
yeah.
other.
Could be
Yeah.
yeah. Could be a person in a fox-shaped hood
Yeah.
or a fox in a human-shaped
Weirdly
hood.
enough, a Robin Hood hat is the only type of hat I'm okay with.
Oh, is that
Yeah.
right? Wow, wow.
Because it's got a purpose,
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
Okay, okay. Yeah. Wow, yeah, and it's got a little feather on it as well, so it could be a bird.
Yeah. It's multifunctional. You also using that feather as a quill. You
Yeah,
could
yeah,
also
yeah,
put it at the end of the quiver if your other feathers had fallen off. There's a lot of good happening. But other hats,
yeah.
what's the point?
I don't want to, put you out here, but is it also because when you try and take someone's Robin Hood hat, they fire an arrow at you?
I that that might have a small,
Yeah.
like a
Right.
1%.
Right. Right. Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
that might affect my opinion by like just 1%. I'm not
Right.
scared of
Right. Sure. Sure.
arrows,
Sure.
obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Arrows out. Uh, plunges in. I don't know what's the opposite of an arrow.
Um.
Ping pong wall.
Well, as like a projectile.
I guess.
Feather,
I mean, it doesn't.
a feather.
Oh yeah, which is in the hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
Fire it the
Yeah.
opposite way round. That would be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Little-
I mean, I should say I don't think the opposite always has to be Like, just because an arrow is a projectile, the opposite of an arrow might actually be like butter or something. It might be something like it's not always exact, is it? Sometimes,
Yeah.
like what is the opposite of a bear? Sometimes it's a swimming pool.
Yeah, it's like
You
the
know?
opposite color of purple is orange. That makes no sense.
No, it makes no sense at all. Yeah, no, it makes that's
It's
completely
absolutely
bananas.
wild.
Yeah, it's a very, the world is a confusing place.
Yeah.
I'm very glad, Katie, that you're able to make such sense of it
Thank you.
and be so vigilant about it. Now listen, you've been on Reginald's before, and I'm so grateful you could come back. And you know the deal. We've had a question it's a really important question actually. But I got to do the admin. I've always got to do the admin. And we're returning some old admin actually because of a request. I've obviously not been doing the rules properly lately, and I've had a request that we bring back a very important question from before. So I hope this is okay. You might have thought we're past this, but we're not past this at all. So the first question I need to ask you is. This is a family-friendly show. It's suitable for people of all possible ages that you can possibly imagine, even imaginary ages, even minus ages, infinity ages, medieval ages,
all the ages.
All the ages. Yeah. So I just need to check what rude words you won't be saying during this show.
Okay. Well, please, everyone, don't worry. Calm down, because I'm definitely not going to say the word juffle-boppetums.
So Juffle
Bobbitons.
Juffle Bobbitons.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very hard word to say.
Is. So that's another reason why I won't be saying it.
Yeah. I'm pleased. I feel horrified hearing it. It makes me feel a little bit like I might be sort of sick.
Yeah. Juffle
probably in my pocket. Yeah.
It's a nasty word.
Juffle Bobbitons.
Yeah.
It's a really horrible word. Am I right in thinking it's sort of two horrible words put together?
I'd say 3.
Wow, right, okay. It's 3.
It's what it feels.
Which 3 words are they then?
Juffle. Boboppa.
Oh, right.
Bottoms.
Right. Yeah, that's when it comes in at the end there. The Bobo is a sly. Yeah.
Juffle Boboba bottoms.
Wow. Yeah. And when you put it all together, it really, because the in Juffle is almost quite soothing, but then it really hits you with the bubba.
Yeah.
And then by the bottom, you're disgusted.
Yeah, you're sick to your core. Yeah.
Sick
Furious.
To your core, like call the army.
It's made even the most calm, cool, collected person go wild and start throwing bananas around, start painting with a different color that they were not definitely using in that art piece they were doing. It's made people sweep leaves in the wrong direction. It's the effect of this word is nightmarish.
And it's very dangerous. I'm very pleased you won't use it on this show. But I do think the effect that it has on people. Are you ever tempted to sort of run into like a government department and shout out? I'm trying to think, where people are very sensible and perhaps need some sort of vibrancy.
I did use it once, but I vowed never to use it again.
What happened?
Because I was trying to get into the zoo, okay? And I don't know if you guys know, but when you go to the zoo as an adult person, having to buy your own ticket, this was the first time, and I just didn't realize how expensive it was.
Yes, very
but I really wanted to go to the zoo.
I understand that.
I was stood there at the kiosk, and I was flabbergasted, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't have enough money on me to pay. And I went, "This is Juffle Bottoms." And at that moment, all the gates released. And I'm talking all the gates. The front gate, I got in, I was like, yes. But then what I got into was all the animal enclosures opening all at once. Stampede in my direction. because they were all
Wow.
furious that I'd used the word. Yeah.
Wow.
And then I spent the day being chased around the zoo by all these animals. And I'm not a zookeeper.
Mm,
I have
mm.
no skills and training in animals. I was going, and it didn't work. I was like, I
What?
know. And it turns out that only works on like pet cats.
Oh wow! I thought that was like a whole animal
Yeah,
universe
I thought it
thing.
was every animal like that sound. No,
Yeah.
don't
Wow.
don't be fooled. Don't make the same mistake I did. Heed my
Yeah.
warning. Don't use don't
Wow.
use Juffle Bubba Bottoms willy nilly, okay? Because who
Yeah.
knows what could
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, I mean, I will say though that, some people pay a lot of money for these kind of experiences where they go into like hang out with the monkeys or they go into hang out with the penguins, and you got to hang out with all the animals at
All at
once for
once,
free.
I'd say it
Yeah.
was an overwhelming experience.
Right. Sure.
Like
Sure. Sure.
there was a
Right.
lot going on. A lot of the animals they
Mm,
had business to sort out with each other, and I'm not an animal therapist, so I didn't really know how to get the tigers to be okay with the llamas. Like there was some real big
yeah.
arguments going on, and they just all directed
Wow.
their anger at me, and it was scary.
That does. I mean, it sounds very scary. I mean, I don't know if you know much of the history about Jaffa Bottoms, but they're pretty sure that that's what caused the Great Fire of
Mm,
London. They're pretty sure that's responsible for the Titanic, the Anglo-Dutch
yeah,
War, both the first and
and
second one. I mean,
also the Big Bang.
Big Bang.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm, yeah.
I believe that was
100%.
caused by a star going Joffle Baba Bottoms, and then the universe exploded into existence. So it's a
Yeah. Yeah. You got to be
powerful,
so
yeah,
careful.
powerful word.
Words are powerful, especially that one.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen. Thank you for not saying it on this show.
you're look,
And
you're so welcome. I definitely will not say Joffle Baba Bottoms.
Thank you. And I would not say Juffle Bottoms either, partly because I can't. I find it very hard to say, but also I would not say
Yeah.
it. Thank you so much. Wow. Okay. Well, listen. Now that we've got that out of the way, that very important bit of information. This is a big admin question. Maybe too big. I
Mm,
don't know when we've got a big question to deal with, but Katie, would you rather your hair was like leaves and fell off every autumn and regrew every spring?
hmm.
Or the only way that you could drink drinks was by putting a straw in your ear and then slurping them into your brain.
Oh, that is a tricky one. If my
It's hard,
if
yeah.
my hair's like leaves, does it get to like do the leaf changing color thing and all that?
Oh yes, yes, absolutely, yeah,
Because I
yeah.
think that might be my preference, because then you could like have fun, different colored hair. But my
Mm, mm.
concern would be, what does it look like when the leaves are off? Is it like twigs? Do I need to be worried about poking people?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, there's also the thing you got to think about is if it goes with the seasons, then they're going to fall off in winter when it's
And
coldest,
I hate
and you need
hats.
hair the most. Yeah, you hate hats, so
So I'd
you're
have
going to
to
be.
invest in some big hoods.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
that would be
Or
tricky.
scarves.
But
Yeah.
you could always prune it nicely, get a nice shape going. Oh, it's tricky. I just don't think I want to put a straw in my ear.
Yeah, the thing I suppose you got to think about is what if you're lucky enough to have an evergreen
Mm,
set of hair, and actually it sticks with you all year round. With
yeah,
the only problem that people may need you to stand in their living room at Christmas and cover it in decorations.
yeah. Also, what if you had bamboo hair? That would just
Mm,
grow and grow and grow.
crikey!
But you wouldn't have to like, you can use bamboo for loads of things. I got a pillowcase made out of bamboo.
Wow, wow.
So actually, if I had a bamboo hair, I would, gosh, it would cut the costs down quite a lot.
Yeah, it
You
really
could use
would.
that
Yeah,
for toilet paper, for
socks.
straws.
Yeah,
Don't they
yeah,
make sometimes knives and forks out of it? Plates? Oh,
yeah. You could feed a panda.
okay. Yeah, I'm liking this hair that's leaves. That's what I'd do.
That's fair. I mean, yeah,
it's
the
the
straw in the
logical
ear is
choice.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also because you'd have to drink through your head, and that would be. I just don't think that'd be a very nice sensation.
No, also it might wash away the thoughts, you
Oh
know?
yeah, yeah.
Sometimes I'm sure that would be a nice sensation to have, but normally I like my thoughts like where they are. I don't want to like
Yeah.
wash them out somewhere.
But do you think it's a bit so this is there is a treatment some people can get where if their bum's all clogged up, they can get their all their poo washed away with
Oh yeah.
and maybe it's like that for your brain where they sort of put the water in and it sloshes around and then all the
Well,
rubbish thoughts fall
if
out.
they're having too many thoughts and their head's quite heavy, they can't
Yeah.
they're like their head's expanding because they've got too
Yeah.
many thoughts, they need to wash them out. But
Yeah.
how can you ever be sure? It's the same with the poo thing. How can you ever be sure you're washing out the right poo? Like maybe you want to keep
That's
a bit of
true.
it there. Maybe it was
Maybe it was good healthy
maybe
poo,
it's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, maybe. That's a very good point. These are very sensible thoughts.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm incredibly sensible.
Yeah, well, you are. This is why we have you on the show. I agree. I think leaves is the way to go. I think that's very sensible,
Yeah.
and I'm glad. Thank you for thinking about it seriously. It's a very serious question.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
taking everything very seriously, as it
thank you.
should be
As
taken.
it should be. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Well, listen, Katie. Now that we've got through the admin, we've got a big question. This is a big
Yeah.
question, and it's long as well. I'm going to read it all to you.
Okay.
And there's a bit at the end I might have to sort of address before we go into answering it. But this question has been sent in. Okay, so it says, "Hi, Comedy Club for Kids. I am 12 dead helium balloons."
Mm.
So that's already an important. That's how they measure their age, I believe. If you're aware of the dead helium balloon age range system.
Very heavy
I
as
have
well.
very
Heavy.
heavy. Oh, because they're dead
Dead
helium
helium
balloons.
balloons. Yeah.
Yes, good point. Actually, yes, it's
Mm.
not airy and light. Those are 12 long years. Yes, or actually, dead helium balloon could be weeks. It's very hard to
Yeah,
know.
it's hard.
Yeah, sometimes they last for ages. Sometimes they don't. I won a competition when I was 5 because my balloon went to France. I let it go in a park in North London, and it was found in France, and I won £25. So
Wow.
you know that probably lasted a while. If one of those is one of her balloons,
Yeah.
she could be in her 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I still think about it. Yeah, it was the best time of my life. So this they go on to say, I have sent in questions before, but that was ages ago. Fair enough.
Fair.
My question is, why don't we have the technology to not have to move and our robot butlers do it for us, but we do have the technology to create dumb AI? Yesterday, I asked AI how to spell cat, and it said KAT. Everyone thinks AI is going to take over in the next 10 years, but AI has a long way to go if they're going to take over. From Caitlin, the voice inside your brain, otherwise known as Linda. Now, just to fill you in there, Katie, I have an assistant here at Reynolds called Linda who's never once turned up, ever, even though she's meant to be bringing me coffee and she's never turned up. And Caitlin is now insisting she's the voice inside my brain, also known as Linda, which I don't know if she is because the voice inside my brain's got pretty sure he's called Daniel and he's very aggressive. But it's fine for her to, if that's what she believes. Yes. Yeah.
Well, thank you for caveating that.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you for the question, Caitlin and Linda. It's actually got a very simple answer. Do you mind if I delve into that simple answer?
No, you please, you go with it. That's why you're here. You have this kind of level of expertise. Yeah.
Well, the simple answer is that AI was obviously designed to help with all the boring tasks in life, like creative writing, designing artwork, coming up with fun movie title names, editing movies, CGIing Godzilla into things, and
animation,
singing,
jokes,
all that stuff. It was not designed to help with all the fun tasks like picking your nose, moving your leg, going to and from school and work, doing homework, sweeping the driveway, counting how many people come in and out of a building. That's because if it was not designed for that, because that's the fun things. And if it was designed for that, it would have destroyed everything that makes us human, because it
Yeah.
would have ruined our essence, really, depleted our souls if we designed AI to do that. So personally, I think thank goodness AI has been designed the way that it has. And I can't wait till it takes over, because think of all the boring things that I would no longer have to do. Okay. Here's just a few I came up with earlier.
Mm.
I wouldn't have to make my own costumes for my shows.
Wow.
Great.
Wow.
Boring. I
Yeah,
also
yeah.
wouldn't have to go and perform at my shows. Okay. Boring. And also, I wouldn't even have to go and watch shows. Boring. Because AI
Yeah.
could just do all that boring stuff. And I could
Yeah.
just walk to and from comedy clubs each day, get my steps in, and enjoy the funnest part of my day, which is the commute, traveling.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
getting on the train and getting on the bus. Yeah.
basically, thank you, AI.
Wow.
I love AI.
Wow.
Praise the AI.
I mean, you
I'm
wouldn't have to
gonna
be
marry
here.
the AI.
You know, if you're gonna marry the AI,
I,
can I check?
AI.
Would AI be
AI.
marrying? Would you be able to marry the AI? Is that a boring admin task that you could do, or was it, or would the AI have to marry an AI because it's taken that task from you?
Look, the AI is like, as long as there's an AI hosting the wedding,
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
and there's an AI involved in the wedding, they've
Yes.
covered all the boring bits of the wedding, right?
Yes, yes, and doing the photography so you can make sure everyone has 12 fingers in every photo
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah, all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. AI is like, oh my gosh. It's the best. Like, I'm gonna be married to AI, and then me and AI, we're gonna take over the planet, and then we're gonna like rule the planet together. And I'm gonna like suggest that it tells everyone that the best way to spell cat is KAT. AI has come to get you. AI is taking over. AI.
Well, hang on, Katie. I need you to think for a second because if it spells cat, KAT,
Mm,
and you hate hats,
yeah.
it might spell hat. I don't know, like PAT, and then suddenly people will be denouncing Pats, and you'll still have too many hats.
Well, it's okay, because the majority of people called Pat do love to wear hats. That's a well-known fact.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So actually,
Right.
that two birds, one misspelling.
Sure. Sure. Okay.
But I think, oh my God, imagine if I got to marry AI, and then the possibilities are endless. All the boring things, like being a silly Billy, um, like doing roly polies down the hill, like
Yeah. Eating ice cream.
eating ice cream. That could all be done for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
think of how nice that would be.
Be lovely, wouldn't it? Be lovely. Then we could do all the really fun stuff like filing things alphabetically.
Ah,
Yeah.
we could
And
file it
dusting.
alphabetically and also by date within the alphabetical.
Yes. Yes.
Like
That would be so nice to spend time on that. And brushing teeth for just brushing your teeth just all the time
just
because it's so much fun.
how many times do you
Yeah.
brush your teeth a day? Well, now I've got time to do it 8 times a day. Thank you,
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. That's very impressive.
Washing the dishes, every dish could be washed, and it could have its like full time and respect given to each dish, like 20 minutes a dish. Really make sure that it's clean.
Wow.
Kiss it when you're done to show it respect. You don't get the time to do that at the moment.
No, that's true.
I've got to do too much
That
other
is true.
boring stuff.
Yeah. I'd just fill in forms, I think, all day, every day.
Oh, that
if I
would be
could. If I could
nice.
just really long, unnecessary forms. I just have great fun doing that.
And if I could get my hands on like a notary stamp,
Yeah,
I could just
yeah,
go around
nice.
and just stamp everything.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
But you'd have to be careful not to stamp in any sort of artistic way though, because then AI would need to
AI
do
would
that for
step
you.
in, yeah.
Yeah,
But it would be
yeah.
boring if I was being artistic about it.
That's very true. That's very true. That's very. I should just check. Just make sure because I'm AI. It is those are initials, aren't they? And it stands for. Is it Art of Fishing Intelligence? Is that right?
I thought it was Archie Bishing into Galamy.
Intergalamy.
Yeah,
Right. Oh, so Archie's bishing into Galamy.
yeah. I thought
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Right, I thought it was being intelligent about the art of fishing. So if you knew how to
Oh,
do, but maybe no Archie. It makes more sense if it's Archie bishing into Galamy because that's the sort of
that
thing that a
makes way more
robot would
sense.
do,
Yeah,
or the robot wouldn't do because that's fun. Because that's fun, isn't it? Bishing into Galamy, so
yeah,
humans get to do it, whereas an AI might unicycle into Galamy to
yeah,
stop us enjoying that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I hope I haven't misheard it. Um,
I think, yeah, I mean, do you know, it might be a good idea. You could always type it into AI and AI would explain, I'm sure if you
yeah,
put AI into AI, it would
it
tell
would
you that
tell you.
actually it stands for biscuits for Derek or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I might need to look into that just to check that I've fallen in love with the right thing.
I'm sure you have. It sounds, your description of all the things AI would do for you sounds right. I think it's, I
Mm,
mean, I suppose the bigger question is, does Caitlin need to just move herself because she hasn't got a robot butler and she just needs to get you know that's the fun bit. She should be enjoying that. She needs to embrace AI and let AI take all of her reading comics, coloring in, playing games,
mm.
a boring life away from her.
But just think of how free you could be if you didn't have to do all of that boring stuff.
So free.
Yeah. I think whoever
So free.
invented Archie Bishing into Gelamy was just like at the top of their game. What a
Yeah,
clever idea.
really clever
Let's,
idea, and it must have been such a relief that they didn't have to have any more clever ideas after that
yeah, because
because
now,
AI could do it for
yeah,
them.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a, I'm sure it was a beautiful moment in that science lab.
yeah. Really beautiful moment.
Because again,
Yeah.
science, something really boring that AI can now do.
That's true. Yes, that's true. That's true. And now they probably created it and then they just sort of took off their lab coats, hung them on the wall and went, brilliant.
They go, right,
I'm going to go home and stare at some paint
thank
drying
goodness I
and
don't
really enjoy my life.
thank goodness I don't
Yeah.
need to do any more experimenting, hypothesizing, inventing.
Mm.
That's all taken care of now.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Wow. Must have been. I wish I could have seen that, although I would have enjoyed it. So I wish AI could have seen it and I could have, I don't know, done something actually fun, like
Yeah.
think about dust.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Well, listen, Katie, what a
Wow.
fantastic answer, and I hope Caitlin learns from that. Really, I hope she takes that
Yeah.
answer very seriously. Yeah,
Yeah, very
yeah,
seriously, Caitlin, please.
yeah, very seriously. Listen, Katie, thank you so much for coming back. Thank you for answering that important question, and of course all your wisdom as always. What's coming up for you in the near future, the distant future, perhaps even the ancient historic past?
Well, who knows? Maybe I might stumble across a new civilization found in Buckinghamshire, United Kingdom, that has been buried for centuries and centuries. And I'm the one that trips over a piece of brick that tells me about it. That could happen.
That could happen.
What,
Yes, that could happen.
what is also destined to happen is
Hmm.
a couple of gigs at Comedy Club for Kids,
Ah, well, that's very nice too. That's very nice.
which I'm
Yes, and you
excited
never know.
about.
You could, on your journey there, stumble across an ancient historic
Well, this
civilization.
is it. You just never know I am very trip centric. I like to trip
Hmm.
And hopefully one of those trips will discover me something like that.
Good. Well, I hope so. I will just keep my fingers crossed that you fall over at some
Thank
point
you.
soon.
That's so kind.
All the best to you. Thank you, Katie.
Thanks, Tiernan.
Bye.
They create a shield of legs and armour.
Thanks so much to Katie Pritchard for coming back on the show and, of course, having time in between stopping hats to have a chat with me and answer Caitlin's very, very important question about AI. Caitlin, I hope you liked your answer, but if not, why not complain to AI and it'll tell you something inaccurate and useless and be of absolutely no help at all. If you have a question you need an answer for, then please do get your grotty fuddywumps, I'm sorry, I mean grown-ups, to help you email me at podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk, or give the show a review, or reply on the Spotify Q&A. And there is also the advert-free Linda edition version of this show if your fuddywumps fancy helping support this silliness happening by paying a couple of pounds or dollars or yen or whatever else a month on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the patreon.com/Comedy Club for Kids. Okay, I'm here where I think the crabs have buried the mailbag. So, everybody, it's dig time. Aha! The mailbag! And my potted plants! And the small office I'd built around the desk, and my smoothie maker and sofa, and collection of antique coat hangers, and my 700 green shoes that aren't in pairs, and that statue I have of a lump of rock, and wow, they really took a lot of stuff from me. How did they do it? I didn't even notice most of that go. Well, anyway, it's time to get it back. Take that, crabs and squids. Oh, it's very heavy, but I don't have far to get to my desk across the beach, and then I can try and do this show properly for once. Wait, what? Wait! Where's my desk and microphone? Where's my chair? Why is it just water everywhere? What does that sign say? The tide comes in at 3 p.m? What? Why would it do that? Ugh. Oh, well, this is rubbish. Oh, a message in a bottle floating towards me. Maybe finally I'll have some luck today. Let me just get it out. Hey, chump face with legs like a weirdo. Thanks for the new equipment. Lots of love and kisses, but squelchy ones because we're in the sea. Comedy club for squids and occasionally crabs. Ugh. Okay, I really need to move somewhere very, very far away from the sea. See you. No, wait. Anywhere but the see you next time. Bye. You have been listening to Comedy Club for Kids Presents. Radio nonsense, radio nonsense, radio nonsense, radio nonsense, radio nonsense. It's the end.